All right.
Start with your feet pointed straight ahead. Take a moment to just feel your feet on the ground and ground yourself. Feel the breath move into your body and just be present right here. Notice if there's any weight shift from one side to the other in your body. And then let's start again by just doing that tapping right on your the bone, cheekbone in your face. Just give that a tap. And know that there's acupuncture points there. And then we're going to add another one today. You have acupuncture points along your entire ear. So unroll your ears. Just allow all of those points to have some energy that connect into those spaces. Nice. Then take your fingers and tap the space right below your collarbones. And then that Tarzan spot right in the center of your chest. And let that kind of the source of vitality or vital energy, let that crank up a little bit. And then connect from the root chakra, which would be at the base of your pelvis, all the way up to above your head, and just run that line of energy up. And then connect the right and left side of your body, somehow crossing from one side to the other. And then open the front of your forehead. Take your fingers and just open the space in the front all the way up to your hairline, to the crown of your head, and all the way back to your neck, like you're opening your skull. And then connect down to the earth and up to the sky. Take a deep breath. And switch. And then cross an ankle over your knee. You can hold on or sit down. It's not necessarily a balance. And then if your right leg is crossed over, take your left hand to the front of your right leg and the right hand to the bottom of your foot. And link that up. And then switch sides. Crossing the ankle, left ankle over right knee. Then right hand to the ankle, left hand to the bottom of your foot. And take a deep breath. Come on up. Tap the bottom of your rib cage. Awesome. And then release. Feet back on the floor. Make sure they're pointed straight ahead. And go into your shoulders and just feel what your shoulders are doing there. Turn your feet out so that your toes are going out, and see if you can connect into your butt muscles. Squeeze and release your glutes with your feet out 20 times. We're going to go right into the pelvis, often the source of something that's a little bit out of position, and see if we can use your butt muscles to squeeze the leg bone around and have that leg bone sit in a different position in the hip socket. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Keep going. Your butt muscles oppose Some of these big muscles in the front of your hips or pelvis, and they can really help bring the leg bone around. Those front muscles may want to pull both the pelvis or the leg bone out of position. Bring your feet back to straight. Do 20 more squeezes, squeezing your butt muscles, and release. Squeeze, hold, make sure both sides can get really tight. And even if you feel like the sides of your hips, see if the dentation on the side is the same. Are you actually bringing that full leg bone all the way around and then relaxing it out again? Squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. Good. And then into your arms. Let's go elbows first. Bend your elbows. Let your arms just hang down by your sides. Imagine first that you're just serving plates, from keeping that elbow bent out to your neighbors, and then bring them back. Bring them out, externally rotating. You could have a little space between your arm and your body. Feel the muscles on the back side of your shoulder, and then bring them back in. 10 times, letting that arm bone move. And let's keep a mild squeeze happening at your glutes just to keep your pelvis really in really good alignment right now. All right. And now just tip your hands over like if you had a cup of soup in your hand and you're just dumping it out. So just the rotation of the elbow joint up and down. You could keep a mild squeeze at your glutes. Just slight action in your butt muscles to help continue to pull that femur into position, especially if you have one hip that's tighter than the other in the front. All right, let's take it to a bigger move with your arms. Bigger shoulder move out and around. And then let that come under. So hands go under, facing your body. Wrist and elbows move. And then out like you're going big. You could take your feet wider, like a big horse stance, and kind of move your torso, move your arms, move your shoulders. Let everything move a little bit today. Big arm circles. Keep that horse stance. Let your legs work. Feel your glutes still press down through that heel. Feel your hamstrings on the back side of your legs. Good. One leg straight, one leg bent, just side to side, warming up your legs a little bit. And then 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Let's go into the triangle pose, straight legs. Make sure this feels okay in your body. Just go over a little bit. Feel this butt muscle on the back. We're going to use that glute to stand back up. Good. Letting yourself hinge over, feeling your hips do that movement, and then come back up. Spine basically staying straight and stable. Only go far enough that your body can keep this spine position. Warm up those hips. And then switch your feet. Let's do about 5 more on the other side. Go slow. It's early. Let your hip move and shift. Push that back hip back, and then tuck that hip under. Let it go back and up. Feeling your pelvis move, keeping your spine stable. I know it's early for big spinal movements. Good. Hip movement, moving around those ball and socket joints. One more. And then pull. Feel all this whole glute. Pull the femur down to lift your body back up. Feet pointed straight ahead. Let's go down to kneeling. So those of us that have tight thigh muscles, kneeling is a good position for us to work so that it keeps the thigh muscles lengthened. The muscles that cross both the hip and the knee have to work in a lengthened position here. And you may notice that when you get down there, your pelvis wants to be tipped forward. And as you hang out there and your pelvic floor starts to activate, then you come to a more neutral position. Both hip bones should be even and level. If you notice that you are easily here, just as you come down, maybe the quad is not what's tight for you, you can still do these exercises with those of us that have 1 or 2 tight quads or hip flexors. Good, hang out. We'll do elbow curls kneeling today. Fold your fingers into the golfer's grip. Bring your hands to your temples. Elbows all the way together so they touch. And all the way back, 20 elbow curls. Again, feel your pelvic floor here. So if you have one side especially that wants to pull forward, the base of the pelvic floor probably doesn't activate well on one side. So the more you hang out here, the more you'll feel your pelvis come into better alignment. Both sides of the pelvic floor will activate. And then maybe you feel like the hip bone's level or your tailbone is able to tuck down a little more. All the way together, all the way back. Notice what your thighs are doing. Are you feeling like you're getting a little more length? It's easier to root your tailbone down just a little bit. Relax your belly. Let that just happen on its own. The movement of our thoracic back, talking to readjust the position of our spine over our pelvis, letting that all open up. Good. Take your hands behind you now, palms back, and just press back behind you. Let your shoulders open in that internal rotation as far as they'll let you, and then back to pointed down toward the floor. Press. We'll do this 10 times. Reaching back all the way, let that internal rotation happen. Notice if one arm has a harder time doing that than the other. Keep your shoulders down and back as you do that. Press, release. Press, release. And then all the way up. Reaching those arms back behind you, almost like you're trying to touch the wall behind you, and back up to the ceiling. Reach up. Notice if your front rib cage really wants to go somewhere right now. So keep that stable as you go up versus letting this big arch happen. Keep your torso stable. Let the arms go out. So a little bit of abdominal, transverse abdominis activation there to keep that plugged in. Notice the position of your head. And a couple really big circles. Imagine that you're holding on to like a stretchy band. Go up, stretch it around all the way. Back and around all the way up. And down. Then arm circles. Hold your fingers into the golfer's grip, hands by your side, pinch your shoulder blades together, arms out, arm bone into shoulder, shoulder into spine. Keep it all together. Circle forward 40 circles. Breathe. Ooh, my shoulders got tired. All the way up, palms up, arm bone into shoulder, shoulder. Keep it squeezed together. Relax your belly, let your pelvis hold you stable, circle backwards. And release. Go ahead and stand up. Grab your block. Place it right between your legs. Squeeze in on that block. So now that we've lengthened the quads, let's get the adductors to be in a new position. And go ahead and squeeze your glutes a little bit. Make sure that that whole leg bone came into a better position. And then hold your arms up like this, one at a time, kind of like an elbow curl. Bring the arm out, then bring it back together. Other arm, alternating, out, back in. Let's do 10 of these. All the way out, feel the shoulder blade wrap around that mid trap, rhomboid. It all has to work. Your torso has to be a bit of a break so that as your arm moves in the shoulder socket, the torso and pelvis is not going with you. We want the ability to have the spine be still when we want it to be still, and rotate when we want it to rotate all the way back. See if you can reach farther now without that shoulder going anywhere. So keep your shoulder really stable. See if you can pull your arm beyond neutral, a little farther back. But don't let your torso go with you. Shoulder blade around your spine. Good, back in. I think that's about 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Hug in on your block at your legs. Squeeze. Feel the adductors really engage and release. Squeeze. You may even feel glutes. And release. Come down onto your back. Cross crawling. So arms and legs out on the floor. Opposite arm, opposite leg, bringing it all the way up to 90 degrees, knee pointed right up to the ceiling. Feeling your pelvis be held by the floor, feeling those abdominals work a little bit. Set your arm down and then switch sides. Opposite arm, opposite leg. As the shoulder goes up, let the shoulder lift toward your ear and set it down. All the way up, all the way down. You can stay here, or you can change to have it switched at the top, and that will give you a little more abdominal work. It's a more challenging exercise. Let's go 10 more. 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, and 10, 10. Excellent. Roll to your side. Let's find those glutes again into clamshells. Knees at about a 45-degree angle. Feet together. Bring your knee up to the sky. Let that whole leg bone deep in the hip socket work around and release it down. 30 lifts. Pelvis staying stable, abdominals mildly working so that as you take that leg bone up, nothing else moves. Ten more. And then place that foot down, bring this one up. Press your ankle into the knee. Press, so you're in an external femur rotation here. You're gonna press ankle into the knee, release, press, release. Let's do 10 presses. And then let your whole leg go down, bring it back up. And 10 of those. Awesome. Switch legs. Clamshells to start. 30 clamshells. Lying on your side. Feet together, knees together at a 45-degree angle. And then lift that leg up as high to the sky as you can. Bring it back down. Lift and lower. Couple more, finish up to get to 30. Awesome. Put that foot down on the floor. Cross the other ankle up over the knee. Bottom leg up to that knee. Press the ankle into the knee. So you're in an external rotation. You're working actually toward an internal rotation, but you're just using it as an isometric. It's not going anywhere. Press your ankle into the knee. Feel the muscles deep around your hip activate. Press and release. Press, release. And then down and up 10 times, letting it go to neutral and then into external rotation. Down and lift. Awesome. And then all the way up to standing, we're going to stay with these hip muscles a little bit. I'm going to grab my block. We're going to move into airplanes. Staying with these glutes, really working. Find your balance. Balance. I'm going to balance on my left leg. Feel the foot, big toes, all the foot musculature into the floor, and then turning your hip, finding your balance, turning your hip up to the sky so that you're really working that left butt muscle, and then controlling that left butt muscle as you bring your hips back to square, and then engaging it again, pulling your hips up to the sky. Open that hip all the way down, all the way up, and down, and up. And switch sides. Taking that leg up, finding that glute, squeezing your glute down toward the floor, opening your hips to the sky, really activating that deep musculature, and then squaring your hips back to the floor, and then opening that back up again, squeezing that hip down and up 10 times. Gaining some control over that movement. Awesome. And then come back to standing. Standing balance, like you're going to do standing foot circles. So hold it there. Take your hand underneath your knee. Now what I want you to do is you're going to lean backwards a little bit, but really it's about finding this butt muscle. So feeling your body be able to lean back. Now you could have a wall or something close to you. You could even lean back into a wall if it felt like scary to fall backwards. But I want your shoulders to get behind your back as if you were going to start to do a little back bend. And then come back up and switch legs. I want your glutes to give you control over that backwards action. To get that to happen, you have to be steady in your leg. You have to have length in the hip flexor or the front of that thigh to be able to tip the pelvis backward enough that you can actually find that butt muscle. And then come back up. Now, if you just felt pinching in your back, you're not quite getting it and you may not be quite ready for it. So skip this one. Back to the other side. If you're finding this, feel glutes as you pull your body back in space a little bit. Feel the butt muscles engage and then stand back up and switch. Hold it up there. Taking your tailbone, sit bone down toward the floor, leaning back. Opening up the front of the hip and coming back up. Awesome. Standing windmill. Feet pointed straight ahead, arms out to the side, over to one side, and up, laterally flexing of your spine. Open some space. Hopefully we have a much more stable base now. And take your feet wider. Same thing. Over and up. wider once more. Pretty far out there, feeling your hips. Have to find the lateral hips on the outsides, and then once again, move your spine. Turn your toes out, go back into that horse stance, go into your thigh muscles, and then let your hands go right to the top of your thighs. Anti-shrug your shoulders. So pull your shoulders down into your middle back and let that press your whole spine up. So you're literally lifting out of your own base. Good. And then straighten your legs. Go down into your squat. Anti-shrug your shoulders, pressing your hands down into your thighs. Let that traction your back a little bit. And stand up, down, press, shoulder blades down your back, open space in your back, and stand up. And one more time. See if you can press your shoulder blades down so much that you can actually find your triceps on the back of your arms. And come on up. Excellent work. Walk your feet back in. Come down onto your back. Hip crossover. Arms out to the side. Cross the left ankle over your right knee. Take it all the way down to the right. Look left. Press that knee away from you. Keep your hands down. Keep your triceps, backside of your arms working. Let there be some stability from the distal part all the way to the, or from the, all the way from the outside in toward your core as you have that mild rotation. Come on up, switch sides. All the way over. Look to the right, open up that knee. Notice if there's a big difference between one side and the other. Come on up, onto your hands and knees, cats and dogs. Arch your back, round your back. And then hold it stable. You're going to do arm circles here. You could come down onto an elbow if it feels better to be down and off your wrists. That would be fine. Otherwise, stay up there. And just do 5 on each side. So bring that arm up. Take it all the way back to the hip. Don't let anything else move. Big rotations in the arm. Find stability in the trunk. Then switch. And then come down onto your belly. Pigeon toe your feet. Let your hands go underneath your forehead. And first, just take 3 really deep breaths right here. Feel your ribs come down onto the floor. Let your pelvis be held stable. Let your rib cage be stable. 2 more full deep breaths. Okay, forehead resting on the ground. Take your hands back behind you. Imagine you're holding a bar. We did these standing, now we're gonna do them lying down. Lift your arms all the way up as far as you can, and then back down to the floor. Lift and lower. Then all the way up above you, lift and lower them off the floor. And then all the way around, up, around, down, up, around, down. 2 more. And rest. Go back to your breaths. 3 more deep breaths. Let your body just adjust to that. And then if it feels appropriate for you after that work, come up onto your elbows. Just hang out there and let your spine move into some mild extension. If this doesn't feel okay to you, then just hang out, wait for us for a minute. If this does, anti-shrug your shoulders, move your shoulders down your back, and then keep pulling your forearms away. Let it move through the different segments of your spine so that you're getting extension all the way down. You can lengthen your belly, make more space for that to happen. Just hold and breathe. Bring your head back over your shoulders and maybe look up a little bit, get some mild neck extension. And then come back down. 3 more deep breaths. And then pressing up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes just slightly underneath you and hover over the floor, holding your kneeling plank, knees going forward, hips going up. Hold and release. Again, tuck your toes, lift, hold, and release. 1 more time. Lift, hold, and release. This time, come all the way up to standing. We're going to go back into a little bit of balance just to end. So finding your balance, I'm going to go left leg, right leg comes up. Just find that. That may be enough. If you're working just on balance, that may be enough for you. If not, I want you to take this leg back and make it like a hook going up to the ceiling. And then I want you to bring it right back through like you're running. And then take arms all the way up to the sky. all the way back. Hook that leg up. Find that balanced position there. All the way up, knee coming through, arms up to the sky. Again. Awesome. Switch sides. Finding your balance. Pull that leg up. Work that balance. Taking your body over, slight bend in this front knee. Feel your quads help you feel your hamstrings lengthen. Back leg in that hook all the way up and through. Hands coming up. 2 more. Down. Up. And through. Again. And release. Find a spot for an air bench. Walk it out. Slide down the wall. And then go ahead and take that good hip work that we just did. Press your back flat into the wall. See if you can work those segments all the way up your spine. Feel your quads activate. Hang in there for a minute. Lift your toes, press your toes back down. Feel all those thigh muscles work for you. Turn them on. Do you have them? And come on up. Good, feel that. As you come to standing, just feel how your body feels in space as it lines back up. Let's do foot circles, point flexes in standing today. We have just a few more minutes before we move into our meditation. So find your glutes that we found in the very beginning. Bring your leg up. Find that standing position. Anti-shrug your shoulders down and back. And then 10 circles all the way around. Reverse. And point and flex. And then switch. Once again, find your balance. Ten circles. Reverse. Feel the back side of your standing leg. Really cue into your glute and your hamstring, all those muscles that hold you stable, not just the front of that leg. Anti-shrug your shoulders. You'll have better access. And release. All right, one final check-in. And then come into seated or lying down, whatever position you would like to be in. And then close your eyes. Start with the feeling of your body on the floor or in seated, and just notice where there's pressure. And then feel how your body can soften into that stability, that pressure of the floor. And then notice any sounds that you hear. And as you become more still, you can pay attention to your breathing. And then begin to let the effort of any of that drop back. And just allow attention to begin to rest on itself. If you notice that thoughts are happening, just let them float by. If necessary, your mind could maintain the lightest attention to your breathing. And if you can even drop back from that and just allow body to be breathed. Allow whatever's arriving in this moment to just be there. Simply notice. Notice when you just simply let go, how much space exists. And if you feel that there's any attention from your head, simply shift into the vibration of your heart. And just notice the difference. Notice the underlying sense of joy that exists just by itself. Just kind of let that wash over you before you begin to come back out. And as you begin to open your eyes, see if you can keep some of the space that you just went to, had with you is always there. Maintain a little awareness of that and return to it whenever you need to today. With a simple breath, with a sound, with a tweet of a bird. Let that bring you back just to the moment.